What if your wealth grew every single time you broke someone's heart? Not once, not by accident, but every single time. Would you notice it happening? Or would you tell yourself it's just a coincidence? Would you stop? Or would you go back for more? This is the story of Mrs. Sticky and the wallet that quietly changed everything. It started on an ordinary Tuesday. Nothing special, just her dog, and their evening walk. That's when she saw it, sitting alone on the sidewalk. A small, plain black wallet. No name, no cards, no identification, just one single coin inside. She picked it up carefully. Someone must have dropped this. She looked around, left, right. No one in sight. So she slipped it into her pocket and kept walking. She didn't think about it again. Not until later that night. Her dog, chasing its tail, knocked over her favorite mug. It shattered on the floor. She snapped without thinking. "You clumsy little..." The words came out sharper than she meant. Her dog froze, ears down, tail low, its tiny eyes filled with tears. And right at that moment, the wallet in her pocket buzzed. She pulled it out slowly, opened it. Inside was $100. She stared at it, her hands trembling slightly. Wait, where did this come from? She told herself it was nothing. A coincidence. Maybe she'd forgotten she put money there herself. People forget things all the time, right? So she brushed it off and went to sleep uneasy. The next morning, her best friend called, voice bright, excited. "I got the promotion. I finally did it." For a second, Mrs. Sticky felt happy for her. But underneath that happiness, something uglier stirred. Jealousy. A quiet, bitter feeling she didn't like admitting to. And instead of celebrating her friend, she let that feeling speak instead. "Don't get too excited. You'll probably mess it up like last time." Silence. Then her friend's voice, quieter now. "Right, okay." The call ended. Mrs. Sticky felt her stomach twist. That was cruel. She didn't mean to say it. Or did she? Then the wallet buzzed again. She opened it. $200. Her breath caught. "No," she whispered to herself. "This isn't real. This can't be real." But it was. Every time someone cried because of her, the wallet rewarded her. She sat with that thought for a long moment, equal parts horrified and curious. She promised herself she'd stop. She meant it this time. But the next morning, rent was due, and she was short, just a little short. So she made an excuse to herself. Just this once, just to cover it. She found a stranger on the street corner, a man selling flowers to support his family. She looked at his flowers and scoffed. "These are ugly. Honestly, who would buy these?" His smile faded. His eyes glistened just slightly. She walked away, $500 richer, and she didn't look back. Weeks passed. The wallet grew heavier, and so did her life. New clothes, new shoes, a new apartment with a better view, a version of herself she almost didn't recognize. But every time she caught her reflection, she saw something else too, something colder in her eyes, something quieter in her smile. Her dog started keeping its distance, flinching at raised voices, hesitating before coming near her, even on the days she didn't mean to be harsh. It was already scared of the possibility. She told herself this was temporary, just until she had enough. But the truth was, she no longer knew what enough meant. Then one evening, her sister called, nervous, hesitant. "I need to ask you something. I'm scared to bring it up, but can I stay with you for a while? Things have been really hard." Mrs. Sticky felt her chest tighten. Her sister needed her, really needed her. And for a moment, she almost said yes without hesitation. But her eyes drifted toward the wallet on the counter, and that small, ugly voice whispered again, "You know what happens if you say no?" She hesitated, then said coldly, "I have my own life to worry about. You always do this. Figure it out yourself." Her sister went quiet. Then softly, she started to cry on the phone. The wallet buzzed harder than it ever had. $2,000. Mrs. Sticky stared at the money, feeling sicker than she had ever felt holding it. She should have stopped there. She told herself she would. But 3 days later, the real test came. Her phone rang. Her mother's name on the screen. She almost didn't answer. Some part of her already knew. She picked up anyway. "Mom?" Her mother's voice was faint, scared. "I'm not feeling well, sweetheart. The doctors are running some tests. I needed to hear your voice." For a moment, everything in Mrs. Sticky softened. This was her mother, the person who raised her. She almost said the right thing. She almost whispered, "I'm here, Mom. I'm not going anywhere." But her eyes drifted almost involuntarily to the wallet sitting on the table, full, heavy, waiting. and that small, ugly voice inside her grew louder than ever. One more time, just one more, and you'll never need this thing again. She hesitated. Her hand trembled. And then she said the cruelest thing she had ever said to another human being. Words about being a burden. Words about always needing help. Words she could never take back. Her mother went silent. Then softly, she began to cry. Broken, quiet, devastated. The wallet buzzed the loudest it ever had. $10,000. Mrs. Sticky dropped the phone. Her hands shook. The money in front of her didn't look like money anymore. It looked like proof. Proof of every person she had hurt to get here. Proof of exactly who she had become. She sat alone that night, the wallet heavy in her lap, full of cash, full of guilt. She thought about her mother's voice, breaking, her sister's silence, her best friend, hurt and confused, the flower seller's fallen face, her own dog, flinching at the sound of her footsteps. And slowly, she understood something that no amount of money could undo. She hadn't gotten richer. She had gotten smaller. Every bill in that wallet was a piece of someone else's pain. She didn't sleep that night. She sat with every memory, every cruel word, every flinch, every tear. And for the first time in weeks, she let herself cry too. Not for money, not for the wallet, but for who she used to be before all of this started. The next morning, she made a decision. She called her mother first. Her voice cracked as she apologized. Truly, completely. Her mother cried again, but this time from relief. She called her sister next. Told her to come stay, no conditions, no hesitation. She called her best friend. Told her the truth, how proud she actually was of her. How sorry she was for ever making her feel small. She found the flower seller again and bought every single flower he had. Not because the wallet told her to, but because it was right. That night, the wallet buzzed one final time. She opened it slowly, almost afraid of what she'd find. But it wasn't money. It was empty. Just a small folded note resting inside. She unfolded it with shaking hands. It read, "Real wealth was never about how much you take. It's about how much you're willing to give back." Mrs. Sticky sat with those words for a long moment. Then, quietly, she smiled. Not because she was rich, but because, for the first time in a long time, she finally liked who she saw in the mirror. Her dog approached her slowly that night, cautiously at first. Then, sensing something had changed, it curled up beside her, unafraid. She scratched behind its ears gently. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I promise I'm done chasing the wrong kind of rich. Some things can never be bought back. A trust once broken, a tear once caused, a moment once lost. But some things also can be repaired, if you're brave enough to choose differently. So the next time you're tempted, by something that costs someone else their peace, remember Mrs. Sticky, and choose kindness every single time."